Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be discussing all the news and topics surrounding the potential sale of Manchester United and how Elon Musk plays into that. There were initial reports that he was interested in buying the club. Now it's come out that he's saying that he's not interested in buying the club, but I'll go into greater detail how I feel the quote-unquote Elon Musk effect will affect the club's sale, if there is a sale, and how potential other investors will see Elon Musk's signal to buy the team as an incentive for them to go ahead and make the purchase now before there's any other chance. So here's the initial tweet that started everything off, the firestorm, so to speak. He was talking about the left and right aisles of the political spectrum here in America. If you're not from America, welcome to my channel. Glad you could join us. But he's talking about that, and at the bottom of it, in typical Elon fashion, he goes, also, I'm buying Manchester United. You're welcome. So just typical Elon, just throws it in there at the last second just to set off a firestorm, so to speak. Now, he did indicate that he was a childhood fan of Manchester United, so that's why I believe there's still some potential interest in him buying the club, even though he's come out subsequently stating that he's not. But so here's the other quote from his people at Tesla. They're like, "Are you serious?" And Elon goes, "No, this is a long-running joke on Twitter. I'm not buying any sports teams." I think he should have added a little winky face there just to throw everyone else off. But yeah, so just to read a little bit. So it would seem that the billionaire is joking, although one user was quick to point out that he previously said a similar thing about Twitter, which he tried to buy for $44 billion this year before pulling out of the deal. Obviously, that's still in litigation, so he may be forced to buy it regardless. So that's why I think it's a little bit up in the air as to whether he may or may not have even the funds to purchase Manchester United. I've read different reports that saying he would only need a couple billion. The Glazers, who are the owners currently of Manchester United, they also own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL. So they are multiple owners of sports teams. So I would have to think that there is still a possibility, just because of Elon's previous actions, what he stated before. It's only a couple billion. I'm sure he could join in a minority stake with some other people, which I'll get into in a second. There's some other news as to other billionaires that might potentially be buying the club that are also childhood fans of the team. So I'll get into that in a second. So it might not just be him buying it outright, but I think there's a possibility he might join in, maybe for, chump change for him, $500 million, let's say, or $250 million, or even $1 billion. If he throws that in there with a bunch of other people, he might have a minority stake in the club. He might not want to be the sole owner of Manchester United. Running a football team or sports team, it takes a lot of time, and obviously he has other business ventures, with Tesla and SpaceX. He has a lot of other things going on. So I think this could just be a little pet project for him, or just something to say, hey, I own a sports team now. So that's my theory when it comes to him buying the club potentially, but I'll go into some other details in just a second here. So the other potential buyer for Manchester United that's come out recently within the last day or so is a gentleman named Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I'd never heard of him before this, but apparently he is a lifelong Manchester United fan, is from the greater Manchester area, and is another billionaire. He owns a company, Ineos. He also owns several other sporting franchises, in particular in soccer. He owns a team called Nice that's in France League One. I hope I said that team name right. It's spelled N-I-C-E. So he's already owner of a soccer team, so he's familiar with the ins and outs of soccer. And he also owns several other sporting franchises, including a Formula One, or he's a part owner in one of the Formula One teams. I believe it's Mercedes-Benz. Not a big F1 fan, so correct me in the comments on that. But just taking a look here, the article, this is from The Guardian. The billionaire, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, one of Britain's richest people, has started an interest in buying Manchester United from the club's beleaguered owners, the Glazer family. Ratcliffe was from Greater Manchester, as I mentioned. He did try to purchase Chelsea, which, if you're not familiar, was owned by Roman Abramovich, who was a Russian oligarch. And obviously, with everything going on between Russia and Ukraine, the UK government decided to, quote-unquote, oust him from his position, or just forced him to leave the position as owner of the club, so he had to sell it to a consortium of different people. So just a little history on the Glazers. They've been in hot water for a while now. Just a little quick history recap if you're not familiar with Manchester United. One of the big six teams, one of the biggest teams in all of soccer, along there with Real Madrid and Barcelona. Now, they had a lot of their success in the mid to late 90s. They won multiple Premier League titles in a row, including they did a treble in 1999, if I believe, where they won the European Cup, the league title, and there was another title I'm not remembering now. Someone can correct me in the comments. But up until like 2004, 2005, right when the Glazers took over, they were winning everything. They were, to make a baseball analogy, they were like the Yankees. They were like the Patriots. They were a dynasty. They were winning everything. So then the Glazers took over in 2005. And from there on, it's just been a slow and steady decline. Have some successes, winning the league a couple of times. I think that was attributed to Sir Alex Ferguson, who was one of the greatest managers of all time, who was the manager at Manchester United for several decades. And then once he left, which is about 10 years ago, then the decline went even further to the point now where they're pretty much a laughingstock. They're actually in dead last in the Premier League. It's only 2 games in, but they ended up losing to Brighton at Hove Albion and at Brentford, which are lower end teams. Even though they're in Premier League, there's 20 teams in the league. Those were pretty shocking losses. So that's what's creating all the uproar now over the potential sale of the team. So tying it in all together now, there's another article here. It's from the Daily Mail. This just came out maybe a couple hours ago, that the Glazers are in exclusive talks to sell a minority stake in Manchester United to an American private equity firm, Apollo, with some family members wanting out of the club amid fan backlash. But Joel and Avram Glazer are staying in charge. They were the main ones. It's the Glazer family. Malcolm Glazer was the father. He passed away. So now there's brothers and sisters now that are all control of their business interests, including Manchester United here. So looks like they're in exclusive talks. Although they will not seek control, some family members want out. So it's not going to be a majority stake. It'll just be a minority stake in the club. But even some ownership takeover is always big, especially when it comes to day-to-day operations. Shout out to the United stand, Mark Goldbridge. He's been covering this a lot on his channel. And he's just pretty much been going over everything, stating how the Glazers are just terrible owners, and a lot of front office decisions that have just not gone the way they thought it was going to be, not spending really any money. The Glazers kind of just look at Manchester United as like a business, not really as a football team, for the fans. They just want to make money, sell shirts, just bring in high value people. Like they brought back Cristiano Ronaldo, who was back on the team back in the early 2000s during the quote unquote glory days. And now they brought him back, and now it's even rumored that he wants they want to transfer him and send him out to kind of pay for some of the lost money that they haven't been generating because of this, that, and the other. So I think that's really interesting that this private equity firm Apollo wants to help buy the club. So I don't know if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is included in this private equity firm or if it's something separate. But how it ties all together with Elon is that Elon started this all, about a day or so ago. Just by tweeting out, "I'm going to buy the club," it signaled to other billionaires and multimillionaires that, there's interest in buying the club. And the Elon Musk effect, as I call it, is it's like that person that two people are at a store and there's one item on the shelf, and the other person looks at the other person and they see that there's only one item. And it's almost like a race to get that item. Now, the item in question here is Manchester United. I'm trying to make an analogy here, so follow me. So when Elon Musk signaled that he was going to do that, it signaled to other rich people saying, there's interest there. I might want to purchase this before he does, because everyone knows Elon Musk has the money. He's the richest person in the world, if not one of the. So he has a lot of money to burn. Obviously, he was going to buy Twitter for $44 billion and was able to generate a lot of capital for that. I think it was at least like $30 billion that he generated for that. So it signaled to them that they may have to move quick on this. And also the other effect is that it's been reported now that the share price went up. It says it right here. United share price went up on the New York Stock Exchange amid speculation. So that's the other thing, that even if he's not buying it, it's caused the price to go up just from him, thinking about buying it. So whether there's more speculation to that, I'll let you think of that and what you will, because everyone kind of said that with Twitter, because when Elon came out and said he was going to buy Twitter, the price went up, and then obviously with everything that happened subsequently, the price went back down. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm not a shareholder in Twitter right now. So it just sounded very interesting that just him mentioning it caused it to go up. So it could have kind of put the wheels in motion. So if you're a Man United fan, I'm sure it's great news either way. You probably want Elon to buy it because you know he's got a lot of money and you'll never have to worry about money again, at least for the short term. But this other Sir Jim Ratcliffe character is more of a lifelong fan. I think that would be the better fit for United because he does have, I think he's worth like $15 billion. He's got money. He's also owns another soccer club, which is huge. So he actually understands the ins and outs and the transfers and the front end. You're going to have the sporting director and all of that stuff. That's vitally important. You need to know those things in any sporting franchise. It's not just one person. It's not just Jerry Jones on the Cowboys, even though people like to think that he's the person that runs everything. You still need the coach. You still need the scouts to look for the players. Same thing applies to soccer, football. I have to say both, but football. So that being said, I just think it's really interesting. I just wanted to touch on that. So my best bet is, best case scenario is that he joins this private equity firm, Apollo Musk. That's going to wrap up this video. Comment down below what you think is going to happen, if Elon's going to buy the team, or if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is, or if it's going to be a combination, or if someone else I haven't mentioned. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. You can find me on Twitter at Brian_Barsoon and on Rumble at BB_News. Thank you and take care.